Howdy, hey, hi, and hello everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the respiratory system and the circulatory system. Starting with the respiratory system, that's breathing. Pretty straightforward there. The organs/cavities involved in the body for your respiratory system include the nasal cavity, the external nares, aka your nostrils, the oral cavity, aka your mouth, the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, lungs, bronchioles, and the alveoli. It's a lot, but we'll break it down. So when you inhale, your lungs are going to inflate, and that's going to be done using the diaphragm, which will push down and allow your lungs to expand in your chest cavity or your thoracic cavity. And in these, so the air will travel down and into the lungs, where the alveoli, or these little air sacs is basically what these are, will infuse this oxygen into your bloodstream and send the carbon dioxide, which is the byproduct of this, and they will send that back out through your mouth. Breathing seems pretty straightforward, but it plays a huge role, obviously. We need oxygen to live, and otherwise. And so next, we are going to talk about the circulatory system and how it ties into the respiratory system quite nicely. So here I have drawn this heart model. It's not perfect, but it's going to get the point across, I promise. So, what is the difference between a vein and an artery? So a vein is going to take the deoxygenated blood to the heart to be oxygenated, and arteries are going to be carrying that oxygenated blood away from the heart to the places of the body where it needs to be. So here we have our two colors. Blue is going to represent blood that is carried by the veins, generally speaking, or deoxygenated blood. Now, please know that your blood is not actually blue when it is lacking oxygen. It will be a slightly darker red, but for the sake of this drawing, we're going to use blue. And the red will be the oxygenated blood as it leaves the heart. Okay, so the veins, as I said, are going to bring that blood in. So there is an inferior vena cava, is what this is going to be called, and a superior vena cava. Superior is high, inferior is low. So that blood is going to come in through this superior one, through this inferior one, and it is going to start off in this first cavity right here. This is called the right atrium. So I know what you're thinking, hey, that's on the left. But if it was in somebody's body, if it was in this guy right in front of us here, it would be on the right. So, as I said, this deoxygenated blood is going to come in through this vena cava and start off here in the right atrium, where it's going to go through a tricuspid valve, which means tri, it has 3 parts to it, this valve, into the right ventricle. So this is going to be the largest section of the heart. As you can see, there are 4 sections, although 5 different stops. It is going to go into here, and then it's going to travel up here into this pulmonic valve. So you're going to hear the words pulmonary, pulmonic. These mean lungs, or relating to the lungs. So it's going to go into this pulmonic valve, where it will be carried out of our only exception to the artery rule, which is that arteries generally carry oxygenated blood, but in this case, for the pulmonary arteries, it's going to carry that deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So there's this one exception where they're a little flip-flopped. And then after it comes back from the lungs, not suddenly, it's where transfusion occurs, this blood was now oxygenated. It's going to re-enter the heart through these pulmonary veins. So veins meaning carries to the heart, pulmonary, lungs. So to the heart from the lungs, this now oxygenated blood is going to make its next stop into the left atrium. So the first step on either side of this heart is going to be in the atriums. which is the upper sides. So now that we are in the left atrium, we're going to go down this time through a bicuspid valve into the left ventricle, where then after the pumping action occurs, it will travel up once more into this aortic valve, where it will travel to the superior aorta right here, or to the inferior aorta down here. So this is going to go to the lower parts of your body all the way down to your toes, and this is going to go to the upper parts of your body all the way up to your head. So I hope this visual makes things a little bit easier. If there are any concerns about my model, if anything's a little bit too confusing, please feel free to let me know. I will answer questions to the best of my ability. So now we can see why it's important for the respiratory system and the circulatory system to be so close to each other. Okay. I hope this taught you a thing or two about the heart and the lungs. Next time we will be going over the endocrine and respiratory system. This will be our next to last video in this Yes, I'm Eukaryotic series. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned.